Hey, I'm JL, and today I'm going to talk to you about how you can develop the best forehand that you can possibly develop. The first thing that you need to know is that your hands are, or that your racket is an extension of your hands, so that if you learn to use your hands properly, then you will be much better at using the tennis racket. So by understanding your hands, you will be able to hit much better forehand. So here we go. The first thing is to understand that tennis is a game of spin. You have to be able to spin the ball to be really good at the game. And this is exactly how your hands spin the ball. Your hands will touch the ball and continue through the ball, right? In this kind of motion like this. So this is what your forehand looks like if you were just doing it with your hands. So this is the movement that you need to practice on a regular basis. Ideally, you want to practice this 50 times. I'm going to do it 10 times with you, just to take you along, right? So this is 2, 3, right? 4, 5. Notice that I keep my eyes directly looking at the ball. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, when you learn to use your hands, one of the things that you want to keep in mind is that you do not want to raise your whole elbow like this, because when you raise the elbow, then what happens is that you begin to take your hands out of the process, and you want to keep your hands on the ball or on the process as long as possible. So let's watch this again. This will be a better way than this. Does that mean that this won't work? No, you will actually be able to hit a pretty good forehand by doing this. But you do not really want to learn to raise your elbow like this, right? Now, I'm going to show you what happens when you turn your shoulders a little bit and you do that. You go here, right? And you come around. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, notice that the ball is always spinning. The better you become at spinning the ball, the more you will be able to give the illusion that you are actually hitting the ball. But in reality, professional tennis players never hit the ball. What they actually do is that they spin the ball. Excellent. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to put the tennis racket into it, right? So on the forehand side, I'm going to hold the racket short like this, just to show you. You will come into the ball, and the racket head has to drop below the wrist. This is very important, because it is by dropping the racket head that you will be able to then come up and spin the ball. So here we go. Ready? 1, nice and easy. 2, 3. Again, ideally you should do about 50. Maybe sets of 15 would do well. So let's take this to the next level. Now I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to turn the ball around, and I'm going to show you, there is a lot of confusion about this in tennis, about where does the ball meets the racket. Now watch. In the old days, we used to talk a lot about the sweet spot, and it was somewhere in the middle of the racket, right? To hit the most topspin, you want to meet the ball actually at the top of the racket and allow the racket to move through the ball. You do not want to make contact in the middle of the racket, since that's only going to give you half of the strings, and you definitely do not want to make contact with the ball lower than this, because then it's going to give you even less strings. So you want the most amount of strings to go through the ball. That means that you will have to start at the top of the racket to hit topspin, right? Top of the racket, line it up and move it through. Line it up and move it through. Line it up and move it through. The other thing that you want to know when you are practicing your forehand is that you want to be aware of what grip you are holding. For example, you could be holding an Eastern forehand grip, which looks something like this, or you could be holding a semi-Western, right? Or a full Western grip. This particular lesson is not about grip, it's about how to align the racket with the ball to create the biggest amount of topspin. Again, this is a skill that requires a lot of training, so you should be doing this on average 3 to 4 times a week, and every time you do it, you should do it at least 50 times, if not more, since 50 times will only take you about 3 minutes. Until next time, this is JL. Continue to work in your tennis game.